precarious. Whew, it's a little bit chillier now. Really beautiful out. It's also really windy out. I've been thinking a lot about my job, future prospects, how it all ties into my personal values, principles, the way I want to lead my life moving forward. That wind's gonna be really nasty in the microphone. Probably. I know that I want to live my life honestly and for the sole purpose of connecting with people. I think that's the most important thing that I can spend my life doing. And, if I keep to that, that's really broad. That's very general. That's generally speaking, like I want to fulfill that. And within that, I can do lots of stuff. One of which not included, well, one thing that's not included in that is advertising, which is my job. Advertising is for the sole purpose of not just selling something, but getting something to stick into your head that you otherwise wouldn't have intentionally sought for, have desired in the first place. Advertising is a molestation of the brain, really. And the act of advertising and the teaching of how to advertise is very much conflicted, or it uses the same concepts as a real, genuine human connection with a person. Because it's all about just appealing to a person's personhood, who a person is, what they are, what they deem themselves to be, all these characteristics. It targets those, which is what you're supposed to do in a fulfilling relationship. Focus on those things and do your part to finding those things in a person and truly caring about those things. That act is molested in the idea of advertising, because it's not for a genuine connection. It is for the selling of a product. I've always known that. I've always had a problem with that. And as I've been telling to my friends and family, the thing I've been telling myself that's kept me going all this time is the bleeding of my creative pursuits and my desire to be not successful, but able to sustain myself independently. That is also very important to me. I do not desire great wealth to any degree. All I need is the things that, or enough to survive in the world that we live in today. It's not as simple as just cutting yourself off from society and living by your own means anymore. You know, there's rules that you have to play by in order to do anything. Really. Like you could go off to the mountains for sure and tell yourself that you're living a fulfilling life, free from the shackles of the world. But you're missing out on the one thing that really matters in this life, and that's your relationship with people. Your relationship with people determines your legacy. Your relationship with people determines your salvation. Your heaven, if you will. So I've been thinking about all this, and I've been really unsure if I want to just buy plane tickets the next chance I get and hightail it out of here, or stick to what I'm good at and somehow find a way of having it work with my convictions. The thing with Mammoth is they're very personal. Mammoth Marketing is a very good business. It's about people. Like, it's fronted by a person who does care about people. And, you know, there's a lot of there's a lot in the way of a facade, which is advertising, that, you know, I don't really feel like participating in. But there's a lot of elbow room that I have in my job to where I can still be essentially a radical. You know, there's not so much red tape, or whatever the phrase is, that's literally keeping me separated from my conviction. Meaning, like, you know, in a big corporation, like, there's a lot in the way of your personality and what you can express outside of your job. I don't feel constrained by any means at my job with Mammoth. I can do freely what I desire, as long as it doesn't, like, prevent me from getting my work done. That's another thing. Getting work done. I feel very fortunate to have finally found a break point in my massive workload, my massive consistent workload over the last several months of these big projects. But it's brought a lot of downtime, and it came at a time when I was really unsure if working at all was what I was supposed to be doing, what I was called to do. Because I've had this thought of just leaving for the last 3 weeks now. Because I believe that was what I was called to do. I'm obviously still working that out. It's not a voice in my head per se. So that's what I'm working on, is finding that balance. And I don't feel like I'm going in the wrong direction by holding off or not being brash or taking a real first step. I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong. But what's important is that I just keep reflecting on that, keep taking everything in, every little detail in my life going forward. Nothing can be missed. Little thoughts I have need to be acknowledged. Strange expressions in conversation with people need to be thought on, a lot more care needs to take place in all manner of things. Because it's so easy today to just turn yourself off because it's just too much. So much noise pollution that we go through. That just, you get enough of it, you'll stop caring. And that's the worst thing that can happen. That's the worst thing that a system can do to a person, is to make them not care anymore and just have it happen. Have things happen and have you aimlessly float through it. That's slavery. That's dehumanizing. Shoot, I don't know what I just dropped. The wind picked up today. Oh, it's my phone. Wind picked up today and knocked over a little cup of cigarette butts I got over there. Picked smoking back up. There is a question in my mind that is the balance between an unhealthy addiction and entertainment. I don't believe that Jesus was a figure who was a purist. I don't believe that there was ever a such thing as the consumption of things, anything, being a damnable offense. Jesus practiced moderation. And he went to parties, he went to weddings. The dude loved wine, from our understanding. Or he enjoyed wine. He knew how to enjoy the things that life offered. And so, I have a nicotine dependency. And on the one hand, that's not going to go away if I keep this up. I also enjoy it, to a degree. It has its place. It's simply put, it's all in moderation. I haven't found my moderate use as of yet. It's been a struggle. I got off these puff bars, these little disposable tubes that, what do they look like? They look kind of like, I don't know. They're just these little cylinders with a mouthpiece on them, and they're disposable little CO2 canisters that just propel massive amounts of nicotine into your system. It is the most popular way right now for vaping. It's the latest fad in vaping. I see people younger than me huffing and puffing on those things every day. And it is like an obscene amount. I used to have a vape cartridge or a vape battery that had the trigger. It was a really bulky box, this really big piece of tech that you just kept in your coat pocket. It had a trigger. You can modify it for how much draw there was. And like, you could go insane. You can flood yourself. You can flood your body with all sorts of nonsense. And it tasted good and it felt good, what have you. But now it's like, there's no adjustment. It's just, it draws however much you draw in. And the draw, it's fast. Like a millisecond will be like, I don't even know how to quantify it. It's just like, you'll feel your lung full in just a second. That is an insane amount of shit going into your body. I don't think you can practice moderation with something like that. Because like, one hit and you're done. But you're not done. Because it feels really good. It tastes really good. The hit that you get from those things hit way harder than a cigarette. And this isn't a debate of which is better. This isn't a debate of which poison is healthier. I just know that I cannot begin to hope that I can live a life of moderation with something like that. With cigarettes, you have got a limited amount of draw. Very, very limited. Like, you could probably get 15 to 20 drags at most out of a cigarette. And if you just keep it to right now, I haven't kept track of how many I've had in the last couple days. That was the last full cigarette in my pack that I bought on, was that Friday? No, it was last week. I think it was last week. I don't even remember because I haven't been keeping track. I've been practicing moderation. So it's a lot of unresolved stuff right now. I'm working out with my job, with moderation, my vices. Another thing is my enjoyment in my private time, in my free time. I haven't been enjoying a whole lot of stuff in my free time. I will start up a game and try to get into it, and I'll get into like a basic gameplay loop. And it can be fun. I've always had the trouble of getting really frustrated on death mechanics where it just ends your game. Like survival games, I've been playing this game called Kenshi. That's like a civilization builder where you start with one person and it's a cross between an RPG and an RTS, to where you can control this person and survive this world, this barbaric wasteland, going from town to town, trading and trying to just build this colony, all from one person. I find it to be really cool. But it is incredibly frustrating because you start off with one person, and the moment you leave the city, you're liable to get slaughtered within 5 minutes. And it is so difficult to not get slaughtered within 5 minutes, within 30 minutes, within any time at all, because you are just so helpless. Yesterday I got to like an hour's worth of gameplay, probably close to an hour. I had built a shed, a cheap little shack. I was researching stuff. I had a caravan come to me that sold me this cute little goat that I named Mo. And I was starting to get somewhere. I was starting to feel like, okay, I've got some weapons now. I can finally like fend for myself. If there are single people I run into, I can take care of myself. I can survive. 5 minutes later of feeling comfortable, and I'm just slaughtered, just in a basic trade route to get like copper sold. It was so frustrating. It was just there and gone. When that happens, even before all this thought-provoking stuff in this journey I've been taking, like, it's just not fun. It's not fun at all. It just puts a hold on everything I was having fun with. So maybe it's just my choice in games, because I feel like that's like the most worthwhile kind of game to get into, to where you can actually build something out of this humongous challenge. You can actually create something of value to you, of course. But it's just liable to be taken from you at any moment. There's another game I was really getting into that I haven't played for a little bit now, called Nier Automata. That's a JRPG, light JRPG, that if you do it, like, there's no... I'm free of this, like, self-judgment of, like, how much challenge I need to give myself. What's the bare minimum of challenge I need to give myself in order to not feel like an asshole playing a game? And it's a very recent thing where I realized I don't need to feel challenged to enjoy myself, or feel pressured into being like I need to be challenged, you know? I don't need my games to be something I gotta succeed in. The pure and simple, I just need to have fun in my games. And so with Nier Automata, you can set it up in a way to where you can enjoy this massive, intriguing story and have half the game played for you, because you're a robot, and you can put in these chips into your system that automate your turret, your dodging abilities, all that stuff. And so it plays like half the game for you. Half the challenge is gone, and so you can just like float through and have a good time. And that's my kind of game. I haven't been playing for a little bit, because I have had this depression, man, that keeps me from, like, where I have this part of my brain that's like, oh, you would enjoy this right now. You should, like, dude, you know how much you enjoy this thing, listening to this thing, watching this thing, playing this thing? And this depression, this blockade is like, telling me it's not really worth the effort. You're only going to get disappointed. And that's really loud. That's really strong. That's like... yeah. I'm rambling at this point. You get what I'm saying. It's just like... tough to get into stuff right now. On my free time. I haven't been creating a whole lot either. I've done a little bit of writing here and there that I would like to turn into a full-length project. But it's a work in progress, so. Drop my phone again, damn it.